So, wrestling fans, SmackDown just got over. We are on our way to the Thanksgiving week tradition known as the Survivor Series, where teams of 4 and 5 compete to see who will survive. We are on our way to the Survivor Series where it will now be Raw versus SmackDown versus We Are NXT. As a matter of fact, wrestling fans, tonight WWE built SmackDown around, showcasing us, giving us a little taste of what we might see at the Survivor Series. We saw Tommaso Ciampa taking on The Miz. We saw Adam Cole taking on Daniel Bryan. NXT Championship on the line. We saw Brock Lesnar quit Friday Night SmackDown and jump over to Monday Night Raw. We're going to be going over that plus so much more right here today on this podcast, on this review. Here's the intro, and I'll be back in just a second. You know, wrestling fans, tonight, WWE really, I think, did a pretty good job. A good job in what they had. Okay? In what they had. Because it really, theoretically, how they came off was, look, we were supposed to have this show, and instead, we have the NXT invasion. That's what it came off as. Wrestling fans, they took the first shot. The Survivor Series is off and running. It started a little late, but we can thank Crown Jewel for that. WWE, wrestling fans, I think we're going to be seeing Raw and SmackDown show up on NXT. Not SmackDown showing up on Raw, or Raw showing up on SmackDown, simply because of the stuff that Paul Heyman stated, which everybody knew that. So, if that is the case, then, well, we're going to see NXT get Raw and SmackDown superstars showing up, because nothing was said about nobody can show up to NXT. Nothing. So of course, bam, NXT showing up on SmackDown. They're going to show up on Raw too. You watch. Now, wrestling fans, I want you to picture, or I want you to look back at who they beat up, though. Just look back. Outside of Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Daniel Bryan, which Daniel Bryan, in my eyes, isn't beating up. Daniel Bryan, in my eyes, is showcasing a tremendous match and telling the people you want to see, look, you want to see this kind of wrestling, you tune in to NXT every Wednesday night on USA Network. And it's also teasing that they might have given Daniel Bryan the NXT Championship to put a name, a bigger name, on NXT. That was another thing that was coming in my head as I was watching that matchup. Because Vince McMahon, in his twisted, demented mind, stating, NXT superstars are not big enough names. I can see him in the back. Him and Kevin Dunn and his buck teeth sitting next to Bruce Pritchard, saying to each other, how can we take a spin on this championship matchup? How can we turn this around and make NXT show get a little more fire? I know it's Triple H's puppy, but it's on cable network now, and it has to have some ratings too. Can't you see that? I know I could. But if you really look, outside of all that garbage I just spilled out to you, what, Sami Zayn got beat up? Carmella got beat up? Who cares? I mean, seriously. Fire and Desire got beat up. Ooh! They're telling us that, that the entire SmackDown roster and all this stuff is getting beat up and everything. But the only thing that comes to my mind is, where's the ones that we see every week? Those are the ones you should have taken the first shot at. Nailed them out. Instead, you took a shot at the jobbers outside of the ones that I mentioned, like Daniel Bryan and Bayley and Sasha Banks. You took a shot at the ones that mean nothing, really. The ones that aren't going to make any difference in the WWE. Let's be honest. Mandy Rose might get championships, but is she going to make that big of an impact in the WWE? No. Sonya Deville? No. Carmella has already shown us that she's not. Dana Brooke? Of course not. So, maybe they should have had, I don't know, a surprise jump. Should have just tried to show something from Raw or something like that. Or show clips on NXT or something, I don't know, of things to come. I know why they didn't. They didn't. They did it this way because nobody was there to perform, really. We saw people like Aiden English. Nice to see he still has a job with the WWE. Nice to see he hasn't been called by Kevin Dunn and told, Aiden English? Your singing sucks. So you need to go somewhere else and perform, and that's a lucky in future endeavors. Surprised he hasn't heard that. That was the first time we've seen him in forever. Glad he got off the commentary, but still. Outside of that, Brock Lesnar defeated Cain Velasquez, which they went over again last night or yesterday at Crown Jewel. And he quits SmackDown so he can go and destroy Rey Mysterio on Monday. And the only thing I have to say about that is put Brock Lesnar on Monday Night Raw. Keep Bray Wyatt on SmackDown and keep the Universal Championship on SmackDown. Do something different like that. Change the titles. Now, some of you aren't going to like that if that would actually happen and that would actually stay the same. If that would actually completely happen, because we would see Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar again. Now, I don't have a problem with that. I like Seth Rollins. I am a fan of Seth Rollins. But if Brock Lesnar would go over to Monday Night Raw and stay on Monday Night Raw, there's no doubt in my mind we would see another Rollins versus Brock Lesnar matchup. I don't want it to happen, though. To a point, because there's a part of me that just does not want Seth Rollins to become the Roman Reigns of the WWE. Where you like him, but you don't like him because people think he's being shoved down your throat. And now I'm getting off on something else. Now, it doesn't even have to do with SmackDown, really. I'm already on here longer than I wanted to be. It's usually what happens. It's just horrible. Absolutely horrible to think if Brock Lesnar and him would lock up again. But that's what would happen if Brock Lesnar stayed. On Raw. On the other hand, the positive thing about it is Bray Wyatt being on SmackDown with the Universal Championship, and we haven't seen that title on SmackDown ever in its existence. Ever stayed on SmackDown in its existence. So since Brock Lesnar quit SmackDown, just let him stay on Raw. Let us see him on Monday nights. Maybe he's going to do that because he doesn't want to come to work every week. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe he is going to Monday Night Raw this Monday simply for ratings, and he'll be right back to SmackDown on Fox. Maybe that. Who knows? It's Brock Lesnar. But all I know is that's a scenario that could happen if he stays on Monday Night Raw, which is making you all cringe. That's a positive thing if Bray Wyatt takes the title to SmackDown. And what a plethora of talent, different talent, would be able to go after the championship on SmackDown. So that's another way to look at it. But you all let me know what you're thinking about all this in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel today and hit that button so you can get notifications as well. Make sure you hit that bell, because if you don't get that bell, you won't be notified all the time for when I put out a video. So hit the bell button today when you become a subscriber. And leave me a like and leave me a comment down below as well. It helps out the video. YouTube pushes it more when people leave comments and thumbs ups. Now, until I see you again, have a great weekend. This is Webby, and I'll catch you on the other side. Talk to you later.